What is up, true crimers? Welcome back. Today's video is one that I have wanted to talk about for a while now. And no, it is not the Gabby Petito case because I'm waiting for that one. Only because there are so many updates with it that I'm waiting till the dust settles just a little bit before we can dive in and start talking about everything. But today's case is the case of Chris Watts, who murdered his wife, two daughters, and his unborn son. We will talk about the timeline of the whole relationship, the case and conviction of Chris, and media coverage of it. And finally, what I think truly happened. I do want to apologize in advance about how long this video will be and how long it took me to get it posted. I did a lot of research on it, and I was sitting there gathering all of the evidence because there is a lot of it. So first off, I do want to let you know that if you want to see more of me and my stuff, leave a like, a subscribe, and comment down below. Also, if you want to interact with me off this channel, will have my social medias linked down below, both business and personal. So stop by there and interact with me more. And as always, let's begin. So first off, like I said, we're going to start with the complete timeline from beginning to end of Chris and his family's relationships and their lives. Sadly, Shanann's no longer here, or his daughters, but still, you know what I mean. So, according to the article that I pulled this all from, it took a lot of compiling and all of that. So, the summer of 2018 should have been a joyous one for the Watts family, considering that Chris, who was 33 at the time, and Shanann, who was 34, had just found out they were expecting a son who they had named Nico to join 4-year-old Bella and 3-year-old Celeste in their suburban home of Frederick, Colorado, which is about 27 miles north of Denver. As the family balanced Chris's job as an operator at Anadarko Petroleum and Shanann's frequent business travels for the nutrition supplement company Lavelle, their lives centered around their daughters, as Shanann had frequently posted about on Facebook and on her other social medias. That's kind of why this case is so surprising to me, because of the fact that they're sitting and they seem so happy. Like, they seemed like two parents who were really focused on their daughters and their soon-to-be unborn son. From the outside, they appeared to be a happy suburban family, but Shanann's friends had recently started hearing about trouble in Paradise. Still, no one could have guessed the chillingly brutal murders that were about to put an end to their happily ever after. Here is how it unfolded. Warning, some details in this story may be found disturbing, so trigger warning right here. It does get a little gory, and yeah, so if you don't like any of that, I would skip out on the video now. So take a second. If you decide that you don't want to watch this video, please leave. Alright, I warned you, just letting you know. 2010 is when the couple first met, when Chris sent Shanann a Facebook friend request. So Shanann calls Passaic, New Jersey her hometown on Facebook, but later moved to North Carolina, where she and Chris met through social media. She is quoted as saying, "I got a friend request from Chris on Facebook. I was like, what the heck? I'm never gonna meet him. Except, one thing led to another, and 8 years later, we have 2 kids. We live in Colorado, and he's the best thing that ever happened to me." So jumping forward a couple of years to November 3rd, 2012. So 2 years after they met, they got married, give or take. So give or take, after that, so on November 3rd, 2012, Chris and Shanann marry in Charlotte, North Carolina. And then about a year and a couple of months, on December 17th, their first child, Bella, who was 4 years old at the time she died, was born. Her full name was Bella Marie Watts, is born in Colorado. Shanann was so excited to have her first baby girl. She spent every minute thanking God and taking care of her precious gift that the Lord had blessed her with. Their obituary reads, "How she loved and blessed her." So, jumping forward again, to July 17th, 2015. That is when their second child, Celeste, also known as Cece, was born. Celeste Catherine Watts was born in Colorado. She was one of the family obituary quotes as saying, "Oh, how Shanann was so excited to have another child because of her battle with lupus. She was determined to stay healthy, and with her love for Celeste, every moment with her was a blessing." So, like, that is really sad, bro. Like, this case fucked me up. Like, I've had debates with people about this case. It gets me so heated. In June 2015, the Watts family filed for bankruptcy, and in my personal opinion, I feel like this is kind of where things, like, start to switch a little bit because of all the stress of everything, and not only that, but Shanann is battling with health issues. So I feel like, personally, this is kind of where the switch starts, but we don't really notice it. They had a combined income of $90,000 in 2014, and additional to credit card debt, student loans, and medical bills. The couple filed for bankruptcy in June 2015, stating that their $3,000 mortgage and $600 car payments took up most of their $4,900 in monthly expenses. Additionally, their homeowners association sues them for...
Oh my god, I thought that was a spider.
Oh, fuck, you scared me.
Sorry.
It's fine. Additionally, their homeowners association sues them for unpaid HOA fees. So, yeah. Lots of debt. Yikes. That's a number one no-no. Yikes. Don't want to deal with that. And then...
Hi, everyone.
She's in the background over here. It is a little after 2 a.m. by the time that I'm filming this, so by the time that it gets up, it'll probably be close to 3 or 4. Yikes.
You can fall asleep while I'm in the shower.
I might. And then we do a 3-year jump to, which is the big, like, next main event that this timeline concludes, which happens on May 5th, 2018, where Shanann posts a sweet Facebook Live video. In a 31-minute, 13-second long Facebook Live video, Shanann muses about family life, saying, "I love waking up now on Saturdays and being able to enjoy my family," and talking about how being excited for the upcoming summer in Colorado. "I believe that everything in life happens for a reason, and I also believe people are placed in our life for a reason," she also says. Chris can be seen playing with the girls in the video. June 11th, so hopping towards a little less than a month later, on June 11th, 2018, Shanann surprises Chris with the news that they're expecting. In a video later released by 9 News, Shanann wears a shirt saying, "Oops, we did it again," and surprises Chris with the news of their pregnancy. He reacts by saying, "That's awesome." And this is where people... What time is it? And being one of the people who are, like, obsessed with this case, I went and I watched the videos and everything, and this is kind of where I started to notice, like, his physical, like, detachment from his family, because, like, if I told my significant other that I was expecting, regardless of what it was, I guarantee they would have been jumping for joy. So, like, this is kind of where I start to notice, like, the little weird tendencies, like, really weird tendencies. And there's one interview that I'm going to talk about specifically, like, after they go missing, that is super fucking weird to me. Just, like, super weird. June 17th, 2018, she posts a Father's Day message to Chris saying, and I quote, "Chris, we are so incredibly blessed to have you. You do so much for us and take great care of us. You are the reason I was brave enough to agree to number 3. From laundry to kids' showers. You are incredible, and we are so lucky to have you in our life. Happy Father's Day." Around the same time, in June 2018, Chris starts talking to Nicole Kessinger. And if you don't know who Nicole Kessinger is, she is a very attractive young woman who, I'll admit, she's very attractive. I have to give it to her. Like, but she's his mistress. So Nicole Kessinger is his side piece. She's a coworker of his. So she was a coworker of his and would see the operators, including Chris, on the way to the fridge. Chris came by her office and struck up a conversation. They would have their first meeting outside of the office later in the month. July 2018, so literally less than a month after they start talking, he starts a physical relationship with her. According to the Denver Post, Chris sees Kessinger about 4 or 5 times a week, and they start a physical relationship in early July. He tells her that she's almost divorced. Later that month, while Shanann and the girls are out of town in North Carolina, he tells Kessinger that the divorce is final. So, basically what's going on is that Chris is feeding lies to this girl. And I don't really know, but she believes him. So he's saying that he's almost divorced and that he has a wife, but they're divorced, or their divorce is finalized, so he's focusing his attention on her. And in late July, he's like, okay, the divorce is finalized, we can be together. Something along the lines. Insider reports that Kessinger goes to Chris's home for the first time on July 4th, and they have their first phone call on record on July 7th. They also go to a date to Shelby American Collection Car Museum on July 14th, and spend the night at Great Sand Dunes National Park on July 28th, all while his family is away. On July 30th, he gives her a love note before joining his family on vacation. So all while Shanann, Bella, and Cece are away visiting family, he is basically screwing this other lady. They're having dates, they're doing everything, they're basically acting like a couple. And all the time, Shanann and Nicole do not know about each other, as far as I know from what my research tells me. July 31st, Chris flies to North Carolina to join his family, and despite it being a family vacation, texts that Shanann forwarded to a friend show signs of trouble between the couple. Further messages also show that there was tension between her and Chris's parents. Something about Cece having an allergy to something, and and Chris didn't defend her, is what the messages say, essentially. Long story short. August 4th, 2018, Kessinger is shopping for wedding dresses online. And just weeks after they started talking, Kessinger's cell phone data shows she looked at wedding dresses online for 2 hours. So she's already planning... She's already planning on getting married to this guy. Like, okay. Once a cheater, always a cheater. August 9th, 2018. Shanann leaves on business to Arizona. After confiding to friends about her troubles with Chris, she texts her friends saying that she and Chris had their best talk yet before she leaves for her trip. She even drafts a handwritten letter to him, which is super sweet, by the way, because it tells you everything in the Netflix documentary, and, like, it was super sweet. She was like, I love you, you're a great dad, and everything, and it was, like, 3 pages long, and it was super sweet, and yeah, all the while he's cheating on her. Oh well. Well, not oh well, but, like, you know what I mean. August 11th, 2018, Chris hires a babysitter for the girls and goes out with Kessinger. While Shanann is away, Chris gets a babysitter saying that he's going out to a baseball game with coworkers, but goes to a bar with Kessinger. August 13th at 1:48 a.m., Shanann returns from her business trips. In the wee hours around 2 a.m., friend Nicole Atkinson gives Shanann a ride to her home on the 228th block, 228,000 block, 2800 block, of Saratoga Trail after she returns from his business trip. And this is the day where everything just goes down. Like, Chris is like, okay, I'm fucking done. Basically. August 13th, 2018. Chris kills Shanann and their daughters. Chris wakes Shanann as he's getting ready to go to work and wants to talk about their marriage and future, according to his later confession. Despite Shanann carrying their unborn son, who they had already named Nico Lee, he tells her about his affair. So it sucks, man. Like, you gotta think about it like this. One of the last things she hears is that Chris, a man who she was so deeply in love with, was having an affair the last year.
I'm listening.
Like, what the fuck? That's one of the last things that she hears before Chris kills her.
Oh my gosh.
And that his marriage to her won't last.
Damn.
Like, what the fuck?
Damn, bro.
You literally woke her up to talk to her about how your marriage won't last. And despite her being pregnant with their third child, he's like, yeah, the marriage won't last and I've been cheating on you. I can only imagine how that went down. Shanann replies that Chris won't see the kids again, and he strangles her to death. So, because she threatens her, so basically, from what I'm picking up from this, is that he wants to have an affair with this lady, but still be able to see his kids. I wouldn't want him to see my kids either. So he decides to off her by strangling her. Bella, who was 4, comes in and asks what was wrong with Mommy. And Chris wraps Shanann in a blanket and carries her to his truck. So, like, also one of the last things that Bella sees, that this is really sad, his 4-year-old daughter, before he killed her, saw her mother die.
Oh my god.
Like, I would be traumatized.
Me too.
He puts the 2 kids in the back seat and drives to his work site. He then smothers Celeste in the back seat and puts her body in an oil tank and does the same with Bella in another tank. Chris also buries his wife's body in the ground nearby, as he later confessed from prison. Like, up until this point, like, once he gets caught, he denies it till the very end. Like, oh my god. In the documentary that I watched, I went and watched the one on Netflix. Bella and Cece are literally asking, what's wrong with Mommy, before they die. Like, what? Bro, I can't fucking imagine. Okay, so. A photograph of Shanann Watts. Oh, yeah, hold on. Those. August 13th at 5:15 a.m. Chris claims that he left work. Chris later tells Denver ABC affiliate, I left for work early that morning, like 5:15 to 5:30, admitting that he and Shanann had an emotional conversation. So at this point, he's playing the innocent husband, saying that, like, his wife just packed up and ran away. But that doesn't make sense. Like, no. August 13th at 1:40 p.m., Atkinson grows concerned and contacts the local police. Later that day, Atkinson becomes worried when she doesn't hear from Shanann. I called her and texted her several times, she says. I knew she had a doctor's appointment to check on the baby that morning. She didn't show up for it, and I was even more concerned. Shanann is reported missing around 1:40 p.m. Atkinson calls the police, who do a welfare check. Shanann's phone, keys, and purse are found at the house. According to news stations, Chris says, she said she was going to a friend's house with the kids, and that's the last thing I heard, and that was it. It was very vague. Yeah, it was very vague. The man's bullshitting his excuse the entire fucking time. I don't know how y'all didn't see this sooner. Durr. It is literally statistically known that the significant other is most known or most suspected of murdering their other. Did you know that? Like,
I'm cautious. Damn.
like, say you're dating somebody and they go missing. You know who the number 1 suspect is? You. So, watch out. Anyway, August 14th, 2018, Chris pleads for his family to return on the local news. And this is the interview that we're going to talk about, because this is the one that I watched. I found it on YouTube, and I just thought the whole thing was sus. As the Colorado Bureau of Investigation issues an endangered missing alert, Chris talks to Denver ABC's affiliate and pleads for their return. Shanann, Bella, Celeste, if you are out there, just come back. Like, if somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody. Again, this house is not complete without anybody here. Please bring them back. August 15th. So 2 days after he kills them, and 1 day after they're reported missing, Chris fails a polygraph test and admits to killing his wife, falsely blaming her for smothering her daughters. So he's saying, if you don't know, by the way, that Shanann smothered their daughters. She's pregnant, by the way, so, like, first off, that doesn't make any sense, because, like, just that whole thing doesn't make sense to me. The FBI joins the search for the missing mother and daughters. Chris fails a polygraph and confesses to his father, Ronnie, and then officials that he killed Shanann, but falsely claims that the reason for his murder was because she had smothered their daughters. And 3 days after he kills them, on August 16th, 2018, Shanann, Bella, and Cece's bodies are discovered. The 3 murdered bodies are recovered at Chris's work site. The same day, Chris appears in Weld County Court for a bond hearing. He is denied. Karma, motherfucker. That is just straight up fucking karma. Also on this day, Kessinger speaks to police saying, I legitimately think his cheese was sliding off his cracker long before he met me. Which I could kind of see. And I'll talk about my reasoning in just a second. August 21st, 2018, Chris is charged with first-degree murder. A week after he pleaded for their safe return, Chris is charged with the 3 counts of first-degree murder, plus 2 additional first-degree charges for victims being 12 or younger. Additionally, he faces another count for the unlawful termination of a pregnancy, plus 3 counts of tampering with a body, a total of 9 charges. On September 1st, 2018, a funeral is held for Shanann and daughters in North Carolina. Shanann, Bella, and Cece are remembered at their funeral at the Sacred Heart Catholic Church in Pinehurst, North Carolina. During the 90-minute ceremony, which started with a singing of Amazing Grace, Chris is never mentioned. Her family was just like, fuck you. Fuck you. You took my family from me, so you're not getting mentioned. Fuck you. And I find that hilarious. Just to make it clear that the families actually never really liked each other. Like, yeah, it's bad. The priest reads a statement from Shanann's father, Frank Ruzick. You are nothing but pure love, always caring for everyone. You will always be Daddy's little girl. Cry. On November 6th, 2018, so a little over 2 months. Yeah. No, almost 3 months. A little under 3 months after the whole thing happened, Chris pleads guilty to all 9 counts. He appears in court pleading guilty to all 9 criminal counts. Shanann's family requests that the death penalty not be sought. Damn, that's like the ultimate act of forgiveness, though. Like, I would be like, kill the motherfucker if he did that to my family. And I mean, yeah, like, if one of my brothers and their family got slaughtered like that, I'd be like, kill the motherfucker. An eye for an eye, bitches. On November 19th, 2018, Chris is sentenced to life in prison. Judge Marcelo Kopkow calls the murder spree perhaps the most inhumane and vicious crime I have handled out of the 1,000 cases that I have seen, issuing 5 life sentences without the possibility of parole, including 48 years for the unlawful termination of Shanann's pregnancy and the 36 years for disposing the bodies of his family. So, yeah. So he's facing a shit ton of time in prison. Because, like, 5 life sentences plus the 48 years and the 36 years. Yeah, he's looking at life in prison.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. Also on this day, Shanann's parents filed for the wrongful death against Chris. And on December 3rd, 2018, Chris is transferred to a Wisconsin correctional facility. Due to safety concerns, and that's all this article says, Chris is moved from Colorado to Dodge Correctional Facility in Waupun, Wisconsin. And on February 18th, 2019, Chris confesses to killing his daughters in a detailed explanation. In a 5-hour interview from prison, Chris recounts the harrowing details of his young daughter's final moments and confesses to killing them and disposing their bodies. This was like the epitome of being angry, the epitome of showing a rage, the epitome of losing your mind, he said, even admitting that his older daughter Bella asked if he was going to do the same thing that he did to his sister, and that the 4-year-old tried to fight back. Like, what the fuck? You guys can see why this case pisses me off so much. I mean, yeah, he got his karma, but, like, he's trying to say that he lost his mind. No, he wanted out of a marriage and didn't want to do a divorce. So he just decided to his family. That just makes me mad. On November 18th, 2019, so over a year after Shanann and Bella and Cece are killed, Chris is ordered to pay Shanann's parents $6 million. Weld County Judge Todd Taylor rules that Chris owes Shanann's parents $6 million. That's $3 million for each death and $3 for emotional pain. The amount will grow with 8% interest. Hello to you too, Ashley. Pushing on my back. While it's unlikely that they'll get any of the money, it prevents Chris from profiting from the murders in any way. So, like, he can't profit off of this. Thank fucking God. So now that I kind of laid out the timeline for you guys, this is kind of on my personal, this is just, my personal opinions of everything. And while we are talking about Chris Watts, before I kind of, wrap this up with my final thoughts and everything, let's talk about the interview that I talked about, with the one where he pleads for his family's return, which was, if I am correct, was on, August 14th, where he says, and I quote, "Shanann, Bella, Celeste, if you're out there, just come back. If somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete without anybody here. Please bring them back." That's just one of the things that he said during that interview. And so I found it on YouTube because, I did a lot of research on it. While he did many, obviously, he did some during the time that he was missing from prison, this is the one I wanted to focus on just because it screams that he's lying. I have, the first time I watched it, I'm like, okay, what the fuck? This is really weird. And, this is one of the first cases that actually, got me into true crime before I started doing my YouTube channel and everything. But, this interview was, he was interviewed by, hope I say his name right, Thomas Hoppig, and he was from the Denver 7 channel.
Where is it?
It's right here. Hoppig.
How big?
Hoppig.
Hello, everyone.
We're just gonna say that. It is way past 2:30, so I'm trying
How
to hurry.
big?
How
Who
big?
big?
He's from the Denver 7 channel, and I watched this interview several times, several, and I kind of analyzed his behavior, and to me, he seems like oddly calm. Like, and Taylor...
Interviewer?
No, Chris. You can't see the interviewer.
Oh.
But, like, it's just basically, like, Chris pleading for his family's return. But as I watched the interview, he seemed, like, really, really calm and emotionless. Like, and Taylor, you can confirm how you would react. If my family was fucking missing, I would be pleading with the cameras, crying, screaming, everything. And if I was being genuine about it. This just screams guilty to me because, his family's fucking missing, bro. And yet he seems, like, really emotionally detached. And that just struck me as really, really weird. He talks about the facts that everybody else already knows, and it seems like he's dodging the interviewer's questions. He talks a lot about them finding his scent, thinking that they ran away, or that someone kidnapped them. But the house didn't show any sign of a struggle that I could tell. The doors were locked. If you go and you watch the documentary on Netflix, which I definitely recommend, they had to literally use the garage to get in because the door was locked. So that takes kidnapping off the table. But it just seemed very weird to me. And I would definitely recommend you guys go watch this interview and tell me what you guys think. But when he pleads for the safe return of his family and the quote that I told you, please bring them back, please bring them back, I need to see everybody again. It doesn't seem very genuine. Like, his body language, he's super stiff. He's, like, just super stiff, like, just arms crossed, like he's trying to hold himself together, but not, like, in the emotional way, like, I'm gonna run away way. You can tell, like, it's just not genuine at all. You can even go tell by, like, the way he talks. It's clear that he knows what happened to them. He's just not wanting to admit it. But go watch the interview and tell me what you guys think, because, like, I would love to hear your opinions about it. And now that we've talked about that fucked up interview, now that we have the interview, we talked about the timeline and the media coverage of it, I want to talk about what I think truly happened. I personally don't feel like Chris was truly happy with Shanann. I feel like maybe at some point he was, but obviously there are triggers that trigger that. Maybe it was after the birth of their daughters, maybe it was when they filed for bankruptcy, or maybe it was because she was gone for work a lot, leading him to find affection elsewhere. But personally, I don't think that Chris was happy. And I think he wanted to start fresh, and he decided that divorce wasn't going to be the way. So he decided to kill off his family and start off new, thinking he could get away with it. And I honestly think that Nicole was kind of involved with that. There's just a lot of conspiracy theories with that, but who knows? Like, the world will never really know. I just feel like he definitely planned this, because unless you're having a severe psychotic break, which he probably did, I feel like he planned it, but then had a psychotic break, and that led to what happened. He had no emotion at all in any of the interviews, except for that last one, and that was when he talked about killing the girls, but he had no problem blaming his wife for what happened, saying that Shanann had killed them, everything like that. I'm sorry! I tried to clean it up. In the end, Chris was just a narcissistic asshole who wanted to be with Nicole so bad that he decided to murder his family and start over. So much so that divorce didn't seem like an option for him. But in the end, we will never truly know what happened or why he did what he did. So that is all for today's video, you guys. Thank you for sticking around for so long. I know it's kind of a long one, and I know it's super late, but make sure to stay around because it'll be worth it. Bye!